Porsche is this next auction's sort of the largest donation I think that we've had for quite some time. The gentleman had the car since I think about 1979, 1980, I think something like that, but certainly had it for many, many, many years. If the specialist says it's this and it's that and it's the other, then great, fine, everyone knows where they're going. So every sale we have some form of donation, which is quite touching really, and they range from £50 for a small item that goes in memorabilia up to a bigger item that goes for many thousands. So believe it or not, the Porsche is this next auction's sort of the largest donation I think that we've had for quite some time. Sadly, the owner has passed away, prostate cancer, and it was his wish, I believe, as he was sort of fading out, that the car would be sold and all proceeds would go that way, and his family have carried on with that wish. So there was a little bit of a grey area at one point because I don't know if they were quite aware of the potential value of the car. I think they were thinking maybe 5 or 10,000, where in fact it's probably more like 3 times that, more like 30,000 plus. But to his wife's credit, she said, no, that's where it's going. So that just shows, and that's lovely, isn't it? So all proceeds from the Porsche will go into the prostate cancer. Incidentally, I think we've raised £25,000 so far this last year for the same cause. We now take a £5 donation or collection, call it what you will. Not so much a donation, because then people can say, oh, I don't want it to go there. We charge £5 to come in and view during our viewing period. And as I said, very little. I think there was a couple one day, and I think there was another guy another day. But I did step in to one and say that what we do with that is down to us, and what we do with that is we donate it to charity. So there's been £10,000 sent off to air ambulance and £1,000 more to dog rescue, and here, there and everywhere. So we do our own little bit. We'd like to think with that, and so do, more importantly, the people that come to view. So the social media, you guys will keep a track on that as we go over the next few months or the next year or so, I'm sure, just to keep people who are up to speed with where it goes. But back to the Porsche, yeah, the biggest donation so far. So pretty individual. The gentleman had the car since I think about 1979, 1980, I think something like that, but certainly had it for many, many, many years. And during that time, has personalised it. So we've got slightly different wheels, slightly different mirrors. Obviously, we've got a spoiler on the back and so forth.
Hi guys, sorry for interrupting. I just wanted to say thank you for watching and your continued support. If you like what you see, hit the like and subscribe buttons there. It helps us terrifically. It's free, doesn't cost you anything, but it does help us terrifically. Thanks ever so much. I'll let you get back to your video. Over and out.
Always a bit tricky when you personalise something, because the clue's in the name, isn't it? You personalise it for what you like. And yeah, in some cases, it is also what others like. In some cases, it's not necessarily. But you can add your own touch to it, can't you, once you've done it. So the mirrors, more importantly, they should be quite large, bigger mirrors. Oh, bumpers as well. Sorry, the bumpers have changed. Spoiler on the back. But yeah, you're going to line up 10 different people, aren't you? And 5 of them are going to say, yeah, I like what he's done that. I like what he's done with the wheels. I like what he's done with the steering wheel. I like this. And then you get the other 5 who are going to say, nah, I think I'd have to put it back to standard and how it should be, which is fine. So as long as there's financial room to do what you want to do, I don't see that's a problem. So it'll be going under the hammer in about 3 or 4 weeks' time. There'll be more information coming up on the internet as we go along. We're sort of fighting with one hand behind our back a little bit, really, because the lady in question hasn't got a tremendous amount of information to give us, obviously, now that we've lost the owner. So we've had a local Porsche specialist come down actually yesterday and just do a bit of a basic sort of review and give us a few pointers. So I think the girls will be adding their thoughts onto the description as well as we go along. And I would suggest you maybe ask those guys for their views, or we have a lot of when something's a little unusual, we have a lot of specialists that come along and give advice and give an appraisal to a car, which we're more than happy with. We can only do so much, obviously. We can't start doing test drives and strip downs and so forth, but we're more than happy for people to come along or to send one of their specialists along to do an appraisal on the car before they purchase. I think it's a good idea. To be honest, I love it in many respects because it lets me out, doesn't it? If the specialist says it's this and it's that and it's the other, then great, fine. Everyone knows where they're going. So there you go. So yeah, that's the Porsche. There'll be others, I'm sure. There was some more this morning in the office. I noticed Amy was working on one or two. That's, again, more charitable donations. We don't charge anything for the charity side of things. And I make that clear when we're on the rostrum. So if someone bids £100 for something, then £100 goes to charity. And if someone bids £32,000 for a Porsche, then £32,000 goes to charity. It certainly wouldn't be fair to try and profit from that, would it? In fact, at times, we tend to top up, you know, so if something comes in at and it achieves, I don't know, £570, we all tend to top it up to 600 or 700 and round it up and send it off to the charity as our little bit as well. So, yeah, we do our bit, but it's amazing how generous and also how often we find ourselves in this situation. You know, it's a number of times every season that we're presented with something like this, which, yeah, it's quite touching really if you think about it, isn't it? You know, so, and they all need it. We're starting to look at some of the smaller charities moving forward. The bigger charities have quite a large publicity machine behind them, so they can generate some funds. So we're moving forward, we're looking at the smaller ones. So if you are connected with a smaller charity that are struggling for funds and so forth, then please email through, you know, give us the basics of what you are, what you do, what you're trying to achieve, what you would like some funding for. And Paul and I will definitely look over them and see what we can do. And if we can help, then we will do. So, yeah.
With entries like this, where obviously £30,000 is a lot of money, is it still reserve at 30,000 essentially, or is it that if something's near enough, you'll still accept the best bid on the day?
I think what we tend to do is liaise with the family in situations like that and just say, look, you know, this is what we've been offered. You know, the cheaper price bands, it's a case of they go, don't they?
Yeah.
But when you're talking of, you know, some fairly hefty cash, then I think it's only fair for everybody, for those that are trying to buy, and obviously the family that are doing the donation, just to have a little input. So we would liaise with them and explain that, you know, we've got obviously this offer on the table. Is the family happy with that? And if they're happy with it, then obviously off it goes to charity. It will be sort of handled a bit like a provisional type of thing, Tom, where, you know, where both parties know exactly what's going on, and we'll put something together at the end of the day. So that's what we do.
£4,600, there you go. Thank you. That you will.